This is what I always tell you guys. There is an issue with what we call overtrading. And when you look at yourself and your past, when you past trader or your past in your life, you generally look back and see the mistakes you made and how you could learn from them and what you learned from them. It's harder for me because I'm in front of people and like I have to keep things interesting and exciting, and so trading is kind of like part of it. But overtrading, okay? Position sizing, okay? Number one, number two, greed/fear, okay? FOMO, and then 4 is overtrading. This is my opinion, just off the cuff, the 4 biggest mistakes that new traders make. I'm not saying bad traders that get good traders. You never know if you're going to be good or bad. You could be lucky, you could be unlucky, whatever. But the biggest mistakes that it takes getting beat up over and over and over again until you learn not to do. But 5 is a sexier number though, right? Should I add a 5? Yeah? Ooh. All right. These are the 5 biggest mistakes that beginning traders make. Number 1, position sizing. You have to understand the difference between the risk, the return, the type of position you're making, right? You'll see people, and I'll give you a great example. This is true. I'm going to show you something, and this actually files in. I'll give you an example. I saw this yesterday, and I immediately was like, oh God, not like this. This is a true thing that someone posted on an investing subreddit. Not Wall Street Bets, investing. Kids in high school, my capital, $3,000. 25% in NVIDIA, 15% in Microsoft, 15% in Apple, 10% AMD, 10% VU, 5% BABA, 10% Amazon, 10% Meta. Options, $1,000. Main plays, SPY call, Tesla put, AMD call, one of each every day. Give or take $333 per play, stop loss $20, take profit $30. Now, BABA is so, you know what's funny? The inflows on BABA haven't slowed down. It looks like the big boys are thinking it's nearing a bottom, whether it is or not, but whatever. While this sounds good on paper, this is the type of thing that people do when they say, well, all I have to do is put this much amount in and make this much every day. If I only play $1,000 and I only make 1% a day and then close it, and then do that every day, I'll eventually be a billionaire in a couple years. It seems so easy in your head. But this is an example of position sizing. First of all, my man wants to put 25%. I'm assuming it's 4,000. He says my capital 3,000, but he has the option. 25% of his plays or his money into daily options plays. First of all, the only way he's going to be able to afford to do that is to take out of the money or like daily or weekly calls, which are automatically going to lose all his money, okay? On top of that, this is position sizing. Even if he was only playing the stocks themselves, his position sizing is pretty hardcore. Imagine putting 10% of your capital in a total market fund while you put 25% in NVIDIA. Because remember, he's looking in the past of how much NVIDIA has been up this year and how much it's been going and thinking to himself, if it continues on that path, this is how much I'll make. He should just, if he wants to play this, he should just buy QQQ because he's literally buying tech, some of the biggest players in tech. Why put it into individual ones when he could just buy QQQ? He'd be better if he wants the same amount of risk with better protection. Just buy QQQ. Forget your fucking 10% VU. What a waste. If you're gonna go 90% balls to the wall, go 100%. Just buy QQQ. There is legit no reason for him to break it up like this because he's giving himself ridiculous amount of risk right now. That's a sizing issue. If I had $4,000 and I was in high school, and remember, notice how he hasn't said additional, buys, right? Like no reoccurring investments on anything. Just I have $4,000, and all he can think about is how do I make this the most I can in the short term. That is exactly how you lose all your money. You got it wrong, Stocky. This strategy is to reflect the graph on the left. What graph on the left? Oh, that. Oh no. Oh no. I think he was doing something else, but it actually works out that way. Oh no. I just wrote this down like 10 minutes off the top of my head, so I probably forgot some things. I have no bills and wanting to obtain a little extra money for college. This is not how you obtain money for college. Bro, put this money in QQQ and go get a part-time job or something, man. This is not how this is going to work for you. Okay, but this is an example of position sizing, right? And it's the same thing with day trading, right? For example, I love to live by the 10-10-1 rule, right? Never more than 10% of my portfolio, my trading portfolio in a single position. Never lose more than 10% of that position, and therefore the greatest loss I can have is 1%. The most exposure I have on my trading portfolio to a single position is 1%. And it's not going to go to zero, but let's say it did. I'm down 1%. You could do 20% of your portfolio, 5% stop loss or 5% loss potential, and it's still 1%. You know, you could do the same thing. And that's if it goes to zero, but I'm not playing options. But even if I was, that's the most I'm risking, right? It's about position sizing, right? Scaling in, scaling out, right? You want to buy something, you're not sure if it's the right time or not because you're not going to time it perfectly. So if you dump 100% of your capital in the position here and it tanks, you're f***ed, right? But everybody wants to do that because they're like, well, what if it bounces here? I want to make the most amount of money. It's not how this works, especially if it's a swing trade. So that's why you like to do things like, okay, I'll put 20%. Like, look what I did with Roku, right? I put 20% of 40% of what I was willing to put into, or 50%, right? And the reason is because I was willing, if it drops down another 1%, to add the other 50% capital. Now I have 100% invested. Now I put my trailing stop loss from here, and if it continues to fall, I get stopped out. But if it bounces, I have a lower cost average. And you can do it in a lower. We did it with Intel. We did it with Palantir. We did it with a lot over a course of several weeks. Scaling in, scaling out. Position sizing is huge. People lose so much money, especially on swing trade, not you degenerates, but the swing traders, because they refuse to think about the downside. They only think about the upside. You got to play your bull bear case scenario, and you have to expect that if it does moon from right here, at least you're in the position. But if it falls, you still have, right? You don't have to make 100% of all the profits all at once, right? It's a long-term game. So number one is position sizing. Number two, greed and fear, right? Getting too greedy and holding when you should sell, and getting too fearful and buying more on a stock or something that's not going back because you have a sunk cost fallacy. Or you're afraid that you're gonna, if you don't buy the dip, you're not gonna get back to even. Or reverse it, holding something that's worthless because you're greedy to get back to even, or fearful because you're gonna miss out, and that goes into FOMO. Oh, this thing has been going. It's been going for several days. Everybody's getting into it. I better get into it. Or oh my God, I sold it. It kept going. Oh God, I don't want to miss out. Let me buy the top again. The fear of missing out is why all these kids buy all these shit coins at the top. And the thing is that they see the hype, and they get the FOMO. And they don't realize that they're being drummed up as exit liquidity. They're being drummed up to buy from the bag holders or the people who bought in early who need somebody to dump it on. The biggest one that we're talking about today is overtrading. I have 3 trades today. iRobot from last night into this morning, 9%, plus 9%. Sure, it's up 23% or whatever, but that goes back to FOMO, okay? Save calls that we took yesterday. We planned on this being a year-long play. It jumped 30% overnight. We sold that for 100%, okay? And then we got into PNST, 15%. 3 trades on a Friday, a low liquidity day. And now we're in Roku because that was part of our trade plan today. Where's Roku at right now? We got stopped out. Okay, so we made how much on that? We got in at 84.84 and stopped out at 85.09, so 0.5%, but what was that? 60 shares, so yeah, you made $50. All right, whatever. So plus $50. I'm done now. Even though PNST, we drew it on a bounce and it came into it, if I go back into it, it's either because of FOMO, because I saw it run once again after I sold it, get into it, or it's over trading. We get caught up, and I'm guilty of it, especially because I'm streaming, and I don't want to be done in 30 minutes into the day trading, but if it's the right thing, it's the right thing. Sure, it may not be as entertaining, but it's the right thing to teach people. Because you don't have a morning like this. What good is going to come from me continuing to trade? I might make some more money, but what if I lose it? And it's something I've said a lot. I would rather miss out on I'd rather miss out on unrealized gains than take a realized loss, okay? Overtrading. Overtrading is huge, and it's a huge mistake for beginning traders. Granted, a way around that when you've been doing this long enough is to say, okay, I'm going to take another trade, but I'm going to have a tight stop loss and move on, and then the computer can do the work for me, and if it runs, it runs. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you don't have to force yourself to get in a trade because you're like, man, I'm hot today. It's like somebody at the casino, right? Oh man, I'm hot. I better keep gambling. Man, I'm up, 400% trade blackjack today. I should keep going. It's not how it works. So much of this is research and understanding what you're doing, but so much of it is luck too. The only way to counter the luck is discipline. And then number 5 is believing what you see. If 99, let's just call it 95 because it depends on the time frame. 95 to 98% of all people that trade daily or day traders or active traders who do it long term lose, or lose compared to what the market returns would have been in the same time frame. Everyone thinks they're going to be in that 2 to 5%. I'm that guy. No, you ain't. See, I don't fall in this category because I don't day trade and roll it and roll it and roll it and do that forever. I trade on a daily basis, but at the end of the day or the end of the week especially, or the end of the month, the profits I have, I withdraw and put it in my long-term and start over again. So because I don't have as much upside rolling, I don't have as much downside either, right? I use this as a secondary source. I enjoy it. I have fun. I use a small portion. Profits get put into long-term. I start over again. And you say, well, Stocky, what if you have a bad week and you have to recharge? Not a problem. If I'm up 5% this week and I withdraw that, I'm up 10% this week, I withdraw that, I'm up 5% the next week, I withdraw that. If I'm down 10% in a week, which I should never get to, well, my discipline is out the window if I'm down 10% a week, but let's say I was, I'm down 2,500. Well, guess what? I can always take from my old profits and recharge and start over again, rather than rolling it 25,000 to 35,000 to 40,000, and then I'm down 10%. Now it's down $4,000. You see what I mean? It's about, back to this, sizing. And believing what you're seeing. Everyone thinks that, there's an easy way of doing this. I just have to learn from the best. From who? Who's the best? If only 2% of people, on average, are successful at this, why is it that every trader on Twitter is the most profitable fucking trader of our lifetime? It's not possible. They're all lying to you. And every time you see somebody who posts their gains or their signals or their wins or whatever on Twitter, you know they're lying. It's a numbers game. Well, no, the rest of them are lying, but the guy that I follow who posts signals in his signal service in $99 or $199 a month course, his are right. He's the 1%. Everyone else is faking. They're all lying to you. Why do none of them trade live every single day? Why don't they trade live? If they are so good at it and they know where it's at, why aren't they doing it live in front of people? Why are they posting it after the fact? Hey man, look at how much I made today. Look at what I took. And look, I even called this out in my Discord at this time. Here's a screenshot. You called out 5 things, 2 hours later deleted the 4 that were wrong, kept the one that was right. What the bro? I know I repeat this a lot. It's not that I'm going after people that are scamming people. You know, if you're dumb enough to get into it, it gets scammed, and fuck it, you deserve it. But that's if you have the information. I just want you guys to know. There's a reason why I don't sell a course. There's a reason why you never, ever, ever see me post my profits, my losses, my losses I do actually. That's the only thing I post. It's just for fun and giggles. But you'll never see me post my gains or plays I took or plays I'm calling out or what you should take or what. Because that's not how it works. Plus, I do my shit live. Even the scammers can't come after me because not only do I not scam, but I do my shit live. If you're so good, why is it always after the fact? Why is it always some Photoshop? And if you're posting videos of you giving back to people because of the money you've made in trading, that's even worse. Because what you're doing is you're taking money you scammed from people by lying to them and then posting a charity video of yourself using scammed money to make more scammed money. If you find a way that works for you, let it work. But there's no easy way of doing this. There's no quick way of doing this. There's no, shortcut. It's like trying to train for a fight or a marathon or something and thinking, well, all I have to do is do this and I don't have to do any of the work. No, it takes practice. It takes learning. It takes getting beat. It takes messing up, learning from the mistakes, doing it every day. And even then, you're probably not going to be successful at it, but you'll be less unsuccessful. Steroids don't do shit if you don't work with it. Imagine taking steroids and just sitting on your ass every day thinking, I'm going to win Mr. Universe someday. You saved Mitch, Mimo at 16. I know, he's already in my fucking DMs about PayPal. Wait, I'm not supposed to talk about that. My bad. I didn't mean to go on a soapbox thing. I want you guys to understand that, especially you, because there's always newer people in here. This isn't some easy thing. This isn't something where you're going to come in here. I'll never forget during GameStop, when somebody left our morning call and they said, I really appreciate the news. It helps me understand the economy and the market, but I need something more. I'm joining Atlas Trading. The people who ran Atlas Trading are being sued by the government because all the people that they got to sign up for them, they used as the people they dumped liquidity on. They showed all their gains, some of them real, some of them fake, and they were pumping and dumping, and they were charging people to be exit liquidity. If it wasn't illegal, it would have been the greatest fucking racket of all time. Imagine not only recruiting people to be your exit liquidity to make money by selling on, but charging them to do that.